found out about the Nice program by going into the Padnos International Center. I was looking for a program that I could do during the summer. I got too caught up with classes throughout the semesters and needed something that I could do during the summer break.
The Nice program really fit into my schedule perfectly because I don't have very much room in my fall or winter schedule, so summer was the only time I could go. And of the programs that Grand Valley has in their catalog, it was definitely one of the cheapest ones.
But what this program does is that it gives students who usually cannot interrupt their academic year to go study abroad the opportunity to still study abroad, but do it in less than 6 weeks and go to France accompanied by a faculty member from Grand Valley and students from Grand Valley. So it also appeals to students who don't feel comfortable traveling on their own.
I didn't think I would be able to be gone for a whole 3 months for a full semester or a full year. It was a little too long for me, so it was just a really nice program. And also, I had never been to Nice before, or the south of France. I'd actually never seen saltwater, so that was really cool.
My favorite part of the program, I think, was just that we got to spend about an entire month in Nice. So I got to know my host family really well, I got to meet friends from school, and I got to know people really well. And after being in Nice for a little while, you start to feel like you live there maybe.
This is a program that lasts about 5.5 weeks. And after 3 initial days spent in Paris sightseeing, students go to Nice. In Nice they stay with families and they go to school in the morning to take language courses. In the afternoon they have a culture course. They get 6 credits which are good towards a minor or a major in French.
We spent 3 days in Paris and we're on our own to explore with a group, with a guided visit, and we saw all the different sides of Paris, stuff I'd never seen before, and then all of a sudden we did a long train ride and we're in Provence, and it was an amazing difference. The contrasts were spectacular.
Moi, je pense qu'on peut se distinguer un petit peu des autres écoles, c'est-à-dire que nous aussi on a comme but vraiment c'est de donner envie aux étudiants d'apprendre le français et d'apprendre toujours plus.
Well, we have a long-standing relationship with France Langue. What students really appreciate about that school is that it's an international school.
At the school itself, the only French people will be your professors themselves. Other than that, in my class I had Japanese people, Czech people, Russian, Spanish, from around the world. And although people from Grand Valley were at the school with me, they weren't necessarily in my class.
We were in a group atmosphere where we were having conversations, talking about current events, learning about other cultures and tons of other people from other countries, that it wasn't necessarily just French people, but we were communicating in a common language of French.
We ask that students complete a year of college French. When they arrive in Nice at France Langue, they will take a placement test and then they will be placed into a class with other students who are at the same level.
On a 6 grands niveaux qui correspondent au niveau du Conseil de l'Europe. Et puis ensuite, on va avoir des sous-niveaux dans tous ces niveaux-là.
They rank your French when you go in, and they rank your French coming out. And there's a set scale, and I went up a whole grade in the scale.
I think the thing that I really am happiest about is how much more confident I am speaking French. I'm not afraid to speak in class now back at Grand Valley. If I see any of my friends who went on the trip on campus, we'll start speaking in French, which I think is really, really cool.
C'est vrai que c'est une école qui est peut-être plus petite et donc qui reste une école familiale. Donc ça nous permet vraiment de nous occuper de chaque étudiant individuellement. On enseigne la langue, mais dans un souci de communication. On veut que les étudiants apprennent à communiquer, apprennent à faire des choses en français.
One of my favorite parts about the program was while we were in Nice, we did a couple excursions every week to other cities and villages, and it was just really cool to see. I mean, we were still in the south of France, but we got to see different parts of it in different cities, and it was really amazing. I especially enjoyed Monaco. It was just so beautiful, and the water was so blue, and the sky was blue. We had a great day to go, and I really enjoyed, they have an oceanography museum with an aquarium in the basement of it, and it was just really, really cool. I enjoyed watching all the fish and swimming and stuff. It was really neat.
One particular voyage we did was to Ez. It's a tiny village set up on the precipice of a cliff, and the whole village is very old. It's a very unique layout as far as the city goes, because you've got at the bottom this perfume factory that is It's just wonderful. It smells great. It fills up the entire village with this odor of perfume. It's just spectacular. And then you walk up and you start to ascend this precipice, and you're going through these stone walkways and going up through this little village with shops just tucked away, and you finally open up into les jardins exotiques. En fait, c'est le jardin exotique. It's an amazing winding pathway of desert plants and Mediterranean shrubs, and I was astounded by the biology of all of it, of the unique little garden that you never see anywhere but in the Mediterranean, and it was amazing to go up to the very top and see the view over the Mediterranean, over la baie des Anges.
My favorite excursion in Nice was when we went to Cannes, and then we went to Saint-Margrethe, and there's a really cool fort there. It's super old, and there's a nice beach, and it's more secluded than most of the Nice area beaches. I really like that island, Saint-Margrethe.
We visit port cities and villages which are important from a historical and artistic perspective, and that's an important part of the culture course.
I really feel that it was a beneficial experience for me because it exposed me to the French culture in a way that I'd never been exposed before. So it was just really cool to actually live with French people and eat French food every day, and I had to speak French every day. There wasn't, in some of the towns you'd speak to somebody and they didn't know English, so you had to speak French in order to communicate, and it was just really cool to kind of almost be forced into that intensive program, and it really helped me grow in my French speaking skills.
I wouldn't have experienced a lot of things without being in the host family, and I was really glad for that.
On est dans une famille, on va avoir des discussions, peu importe si on utilise le bon temps, le bon article. Le tout, c'est de se faire comprendre et de comprendre ce qui se passe dans la famille.
It's definitely beneficial for your French speaking skills, because no one in my house knew very much English. So I was forced to speak French, and they taught me certain ways to say things. If I was saying it wrong, they would teach me right. And also you get to actually experience French culture more than you would if you were staying in a dorm or something else.
In Nice, we really got to know the different teachers and some of the other students who were there for a really long time, and it was just really cool because I feel like we all learned a lot and we made friends, and it was just a really good experience. But it was nice to go back to Paris in the end.
Everyone wants to go to Paris when you go to France, and Grand Valley doesn't have any other programs that explicitly go to Paris. So it was nice being able to stay in Nice, have fun in Nice, be there for a month, and then go to Paris and get to see one of the largest, most beautiful cities in the world.
I was able to see a lot of contrasts in my trip, both between Nice and Paris, the countryside and the big cities.
Be willing to try new things. Don't be afraid to do something that you wouldn't normally try. Get a little out of your comfort zone, because if you don't, you aren't going to get as much out of this program as you can.
Go in without any expectations, with a completely blank slate, and not be afraid to live very, very boldly. Just go out and experience life, experience your summer, and experience your youth. And if you're old, experience your youth at heart. It's really an occasion of a lifetime.
You're only there for a short period of time, six or 7 weeks, around there, and you should really speak French as much as possible. Speak French with your friends, speak French with even people who know English. Try and absorb as much as you can, because you don't know the next time you'll be back in France.
I really grew not only in my French skills, but I think as a person as well.